So, I have been calling it for months. Fury is one of the best DPS classes of the game, for both PvE and PvP. But, as everything in life, it depends on the context. Lately, there's been a lot of hype about Fury. A lot of people are getting on board on this hype train for Fury. So let's settle some things and explain some things before people start investing in something and then they start saying, oh, but this is not what I expected, and blah 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 blah. So what's this hype about? With the release of the Ray, people have started to realize that all of the traditional meta DPS classes are useless. Period. Most of them are useless. Gladiator, Revier, Scorpions, Spellblades, whatever, all of them are useless. Only Invocator, maybe Liberator, and Fury are the only classes capable of being in fight for extended period of time. All the other classes are more in the burst side of the game. They just make some burst damage and then they need to recover. But for that works for under a minute fights. But for raids, when you are staying over 5 minutes in a single boss, you need to do both damage and be able to have some sustain to keep doing damage. So that's why Invocator is probably the best class and Fury is the second best. So, what's all this hype about? What have people discovered? Like if it was something new and actually it's been the same since T1. Fury, as I have explained in many of my videos, works by staking curses and lowering the CDs of all the skills by using self-left diffusion. So, why is this working for longer fights? Because we can do this. We just pop self-left diffusion, start applying curses, all curses, more curses, more. And you see time touch of the spear here? It's increasing. Let's wait for the next self-left diffusion. Wait for that. Again now. More curses. More weekends. Do you see? It's increasing. And if you keep doing this for a extended period of time, this gets to over 2 minutes. This gets to over 3 minutes. And what does that mean? That means that every explosion that you are doing with this dark explosion, this is very important. You must have dark explosion to not reset the curses. So every explosion you are doing with this and that you are doing with the mastery, with abyssal bars, is going to scale exponentially. So the longer you stay in the fight, the more damage you are going to do. That's all the hype about. How do you achieve this? There are 3 main stats that you need to pursue: attack speed, cooldown speed, and mana cost efficiency. Based on my research and some people we have been debating about this in Discord, attack speed may be either as low as 21 or 22 seconds, I mean 0.21, 0.22, or some people have made it work with like 0.34, like a very slow attack speed, but with like 80 cooldown speed. In my opinion, the best is trying to look for 0.2122, having a cooldown speed of 60, because self-left diffusion doesn't lower the CD by itself. So you need to have the CD as low as possible. And that means now when it's finished, it's going to be like 15 or 16 seconds. And it should be nearly 12, 13 to make it better. And right now I have in here 50, almost 53. So you have an idea. It's like 60, 65 cooldown speed will make it last. It will make it has a CD of 12 more or less, which is better. And we need mana cost efficiency because we are spamming so much skills that we need to have the biggest mana cost efficiency possible. Minimum 50%. Okay? Those are the main 3 stats. And that's it. You only do that. You don't need to be moving. You just spam curses and that's it. Now, how does this apply to the raids? For example, when you are on the first one, you need to try to avoid getting pulled by the orbs. Because the whole point is that you need to keep refreshing the curses. If you stop doing that, the curses will reset and you will need to ramp up your damage again. So while people are killing the orbs, you should keep hitting the boss. With Calancia, it's the same. When you are on Calancia, when people are traveling to the other world, you should keep hitting Calancia because you don't want to lose your contribution, let's say. You don't want to lose your curses, your stack curses into Calancia. That's why a party with 8 Furies, or raid with 8 Furies doesn't make sense. Because we need to do the mechanics as well. Another thing about Fury, and that's why I'm very careful by trying to lower the expectations, is that yes, it's the best or second best DPS for extended period of 5. But for example, when someone gets in a cage, we don't have enough damage to break that cage quickly, or the orbs. Why? Because our damage is based on the interaction of curses, hits, and vampiric. And the problem is that we cannot use curses on the cage, so we are losing most of our damage. We are only be able to just do quick fires here and that's it, but those quick fires are not going to do much damage. We need to be able to have the curses to proc the other hits. That's why we need other DPS. That's why you may go with 8 invocators, but you cannot go with 8 Furies, just to make an example. So this is for PvE. This is why all the hype with Fury is now in trending, because people have realized that you can do this, you can kill a dummy. If you have Belander crossbow, because everyone that has done this is using Bela. With Queen Belander, you can kill the dummy in under a minute. Without Queen Belander, you should be able to do over 3 million damage in a minute. But with Belander, with a poison at Belander, as you are extending that with self, you can kill the dummy it under a minute. But still, just without Belander, just 3 millions in under a minute is most DPS than most of the other traditional meta DPS classes. And most important, because some people will say, yes, Scorpion can do that. Yes, but the difference is that Fury can keep doing that for the next minute, the next minute, the next minute, the next minute, the next minute. Scorpion runs out of mana and they are done. That's the main difference. What else? Okay, so this is for PvE. However, this is for PvE for the raids. For PvE for world bosses, for PvE for Gate of Infinity, we cannot follow this skill bar on this bill I'm saying, because in those cases you want burst damage. You want to do the most damage possible in the shortest span of time. That's why it's different. You will not focus into attack speed, you will not focus into mana cost efficiency, you will focus into heavy attack and cooldown speed, for example. That's why, yeah, it is possible, but I mean, Fury is one of the best DPS class, but you need to know in which scenario. And for PvP, forget about this, forget about curiosity, because for PvP, this attack speed, mana cost efficiency, cooldown trio is not going to be good. I don't care about that low, that high, let's say, attack speed for PvP, because I'm not going to be hitting someone for 2 minutes. For PvP, you want burst damage. You want to stack a lot of bonus damage. The more you can, the better, without compromising other stats. Because for PvP, what we want to do is, as explained earlier, just stack some Qs. A single Q, I don't care about the Qs damage, just a single Q to trigger all the hits that we do with the Ray, the Quick Fire. Notice that I'm not even using Nimble Leap to resist Quick Fire. For PvP, that's mandatory. So that's the difference. Two different builds, two different scenarios for extended periods of fights. Fury is very good. For short fights is the same as many other DPS, probably, let's say, in a mid-high tier. And for PvP, it's the same. For PvP, it's not going to be a Spear Dagger getting 100 kills in a Dominion. It's not going to be that, but it's going to be more like an offensive support class that get a lot of kills, cause a lot of havoc. I mean, it's very annoying with this mana drain, with all the constant hits that cause some cognitive load because you see all those numbers and what's going on? That's it. Let's settle expectations. Yes, Fury is a good class, but not everyone can play Fury in array, otherwise you are fucked. So that's it. This is the video for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.